everybody, we're back. We finally have our gas on and we're going to start our new series with Italian sauce made from scratch. Here we have 8 cans of crushed tomatoes, 28 ounces each. We usually use Tuttoroso. This is crushed tomatoes in a thick puree with basil. We also use the green one, which is just crushed tomatoes with basil. The difference between the two is that this comes in a puree, so it makes the sauce a bit thicker, a bit stronger. If you want it more watered down, you would use the green one. We also use Progresso if we're in a pinch, but besides Tuttoroso, we'd rather go with Renzi. Okay, we also have Contadina. We always go with this one. Now, tomato paste. This is 12 ounces. We have 3 of those. We also have our extra virgin olive oil. We prefer extra virgin olive oil. And this is a 3-pound pork shoulder. We also have 3/4 of a cup of thinly sliced garlic. Now we're going to put the olive oil in the large pot because we are making a lot of sauce today. I would say about half a cup. Make sure the bottom is covered. You let that heat up, and then we're going to throw the pork shoulder in to brown it. Once that's browned, we're going to throw the garlic in, so we'll be back. Okay, some other items that you're going to want to keep on the side is your baking soda. You're going to use around 1.5 teaspoons. You also need basil leaves, brand, doesn't matter, and oregano. Okay, now our oil is ready. It's been warming up for about 5 minutes, and we're going to throw the pork shoulder in there. So we're going to sear the pork shoulder on all 4 sides. So I flipped the pork, seared it on all 4 sides. It does get stuck to the bottom a little bit, so you just pry it off. And now I'm going to throw the garlic in right away. It's very important that your garlic browns very nicely. You do not want it to burn. It will ruin your sauce by making it bitter. By the way, I want everybody to know I did learn how to make this sauce from a true Italian. So this is pure Guinea style. So I've been vigilant with the garlic. I keep mixing it, and also I make sure that I scratch out any of the pork that's getting stuck at the bottom because you don't want it to burn later and ruin the sauce. Right now it's only been cooking for about 5 minutes. It's not quite ready yet. You want it to be a nice golden brown. It's close, but it's not quite there yet. So we'll just keep watching it until it turns a nice golden brown. Okay, so now we have a sexy golden brown. You want to come in and see it. That's ready. What we're going to do now is we're going to add the sauce. Again, we have 8 cans here. Okay, all 8 cans are in here. And now we're going to add 3 cans of water. As you can see, the consistency of this sauce is pretty thick because of the fact that we use crushed tomatoes in puree. I actually like it like that, to tell you the truth. And we're going to mix all that water in. We're going to add the tomato paste. It's 3 12-ounce cans of tomato paste. Okay, so the 3 cans of tomato paste are in here. And we're actually going to raise the heat just a touch to about a medium-high. You want it to start to boil, but you don't want to burn it. It's very important that you are constantly mixing it. Mix it all in very well. But as it cooks, it'll blend in even better. And you'll see the difference from what it looks like now to after it's been boiling for a while. Now this sauce should cook for at least 5 hours if you want the pork to fall off the bone. Okay, this is the oregano. I'm going to throw some oregano in. I'd say about a quarter cup. And our basil. It already has some basil in the sauce, but we're going to add a little bit more. And now mix that all in. Look how sexy my sauce looks. Okay, so I mixed everything in there. Now we're going to put a palmful of salt. It should be a generous amount because we do have 8 cans. We get a little nutty. And that goes in there nice. And mix that in. And I decided we're going to get a little nutty today. We're going to make a wine pork sauce. So this is a bottle of semi-sweet red wine. I'm about at half a bottle. So we're just going to eye it and get a little nutty. And I'd say about, we have about a quarter of a bottle left. And get a little nutty. And that's good. Mix that all in. Do you see how sexy my sauce is? You comprehend the sexiness? And I'm not even Italian. And it's going to simmer now. Once it simmers, come in and start mixing it again. Make sure that you scratch the bottom very well. You don't want it to stick at the bottom. Okay, so this has been warming up for about 40 minutes. As you can see, it's kind of bubbling. I'm going to mix it. Make sure it's not sticking at the bottom. Throughout the 40 minutes, you have to come in and mix it every once in a while to make sure that it's not sticking at the bottom. There's a lot of sauce, so it took about 40 minutes for it to get hot. When you cover it, you're going to leave some space for air, because if you cover it all the way, the condensation will come back down on the sauce and make it watery. We don't want that. We want a nice thick sauce, so leave it uncovered just a touch. We'll be back. Okay, so this has been cooking now for about 3 hours. I'm going to give it a good mix right now, and it's time to bring in the baking soda. Nice consistency, nice and thick. We like to use baking soda to take away the acidity. You can also use sugar, but we prefer to use baking soda. So I have about a quarter of a cup of water in here, and this was a teaspoon and a half of baking soda. So I'm going to put that in the water. I'm going to mix it. And now I'm going to bring it to the sauce. And you'll see, as you're putting it in, the acidity coming to the top of the sauce. Mix it in really good. And you want to just keep mixing that for about a good, I'd say about 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. Now it's very important that you are very careful with this step, because if you put too much, you're going to make your sauce very sweet. And if you don't put enough, it'll still be acidic. So if you mess up a few sauces, it's okay, I forgive you.
Some old Italians even use a half a banana.
We're going to stick to the baking soda. It's sexier. And once you mix that in for about 5 minutes, you're going to cover it and let it cook for another 2 hours. And then your sauce is done. You can pack it up and freeze it. Frozen, it'll last 1 year. And in the fridge, it can last up to a week because it's a pork sauce. You don't want to leave it in the fridge for too long. I'll leave it covered with a little ventilation like I did before for 2 hours. And then afterwards, you can pack it up and stick it in the freezer. Make sure that you take bread and you clean off the pot and enjoy a little taste before you pack it up. So this is JessicaConSazon. We're back, and you'll see a lot more meals coming your way. Enjoy.